Hello, good afternoon and welcome to my Hornby Mallard Railway, Bedstead Junction. Now, we've got a little bit of a treat for you here today. Now, it's a new arrival. It's only arrived a little while ago through the post, and I'll explain to you what I bought, why I bought it. Little things that influences my decisions when I come to the buying process of locomotives. Now, the question is, okay, I mean, as you probably guessed from my accent, I'm from the West Country, and so I'm going to be a GWR fan. No two ways about it, I'm a GWR fan, so let's get that one out of the way first. So what do your average GWR fan buy to go on this railway? R350 A4 Loco Mallard. Yeah, it's the LNER locomotive, an A4. Okay, and as I probably mentioned in one of my previous videos, I did say it was going to be an oldie but a goodie, and so far it's proved to be quite that. Now we just need to do a little bit of messing around. Forgot to attach my video light. I'll put that on now. There we are. So I'll just give you a bit of extra light close up. Right. So it's a BR class A4 462 Mallard. Gresley's famous streamliner, holder of the world speed record for steam locomotives. Artist's impression of prototype. Okay, so that's what came with the box. Okay, so that's the front card, and that gives you a good representation of what you're going to be getting in the box. Now we'll just have a quick, we'll be getting to the model soon, so for those of you who are shouting get on with it, I will be there quite soon. Now I've got R350, I think I've got 02/11/79. So correct me if I'm wrong, but we certainly know it's been made in November 1979, the 2nd of November 79. 1979 this locomotive came from. That's when this was actually released. They used to put this special stamp on the instruction leaflet so you could work out what date it was. And what you get is a general leaflet on this. It's a general loco operations leaflet. So it basically is covering all bases here. You know, that's not the type of motor that's in the Mallard, is it? So up there. Let's have a look and see what it says. Right, so in fact, it doesn't specifically refer to R350. Yeah, it is included on the list. So it basically tells you how to get into the tender and everything else there, and that's the ring-fed motor, which you'll see in just a moment. Now, what I've done is I've tried this locomotive to see if it actually moves. And it does. Okay, so I know that much, but there was a slight noise coming from it. Okay, nothing to be too concerned about, but what I've done is, as a precaution, I've done oiling on it. So you generally put a drop of oil on the gears there and on that center spindle. And a drop of oil on the center spindle there. Sorry about that, my phone I should have switched my phone off. So that in the background. Okay, and this tender has got articulated rear wheel. I don't know if anybody's ever highlighted this. Articulated rear wheels, look. And that's on the tender itself. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the body back on in just a moment. I just messed up my layout a little bit with a drop of oil. I should have got some newspaper down there. There you are, that's overexcitement for you. Okay, so let's have a look now. Okay, so the locomotive itself, again, for those of you, I mean, I've got to be honest with you, I was looking at some of the 462s, and is it a 464, the hush hush and everything else, and it's got the back wheels floating above the track, so when you look down it, when the locomotive's at eye level, so your sort of head's down at track level, the locomotive's going around but the wheels aren't revolving. And you know, I thought, well, you know, I know it's more, probably makes the back truck look more realistic, but on this one you actually got articulated rear wheels, look, on this Mallard. So that's what influenced me there. Okay, also you're getting a glazed cab, something the railroad model didn't have. Okay, and a lovely detailed cab. They're all picked out in well, the brass picked out at least on here. Yeah, it's a really nice cab, isn't it? That focus back in again for you. Nice, lovely. Okay, and you can clearly, I'm going to throw that phone out the window in a minute if it goes off again. Let's put on to do not disturb. Oopsies. Do not disturb. Let's see if that quietens it down a little bit. Okay, so you can clearly see the number on there, 60022. I can clearly see, pardon my big thumb getting in the way, you can clearly see the 4, the 6 and the 2 wheel arrangement there. Okay, so it's powered by a Hornby Mallard motor, and that, if I'm being thoroughly honest, is no deterrent to me at all. Okay, some people talk about it being tender driven and everything else, and they'd rather have loco drive, which is fine, that's personal preference, but I'm not really all that worried. I was brought up on you know, virtually brought up on locomotives from an earlier era. You do get quite a slightly bigger looking coal out there, and you've got sort of a little bit of a hump in the coal there to accommodate the Rainfield motor that's in there. But it's really a nice locomotive. I mean, everything, it's all intact. Now the box is a nice sensible box as well. The polystyrene comes apart like that, look. So it's not like a great big puzzle to assemble. I'm not trying to poke the locomotive out with my fingers as well. Okay, so now as far as I'm aware, the Hornby Railroad Mallard, the one that's out now, is a lovely model, and I wouldn't put anybody off buying it themselves. But the reason why I went for this one was the detailed cab, the glazed windows, okay, and I wasn't all that worried about sprung buffers, but I thought it was quite odd that I think it's a railroad model, it's got sprung buffers at the front and not on the back. And I don't know, I mean, my kind of sort of mindset probably would prefer something like this, where I've got, and as well as that, was that floating rear pony truck where the wheels don't touch the ground. They're not even, I don't think the wheels are even flanged, are they, on things like the hush hush and that. So again, is why I chose this model. As well as that, okay, it's a second hand model, fair enough, but I picked this up for the pretty sum of £50. Okay, so I've saved on £60 at least, probably £50 or £60 on the railroad model, and it's really in my opinion a nicer model in many ways. Some people might disagree. I mean, if you prefer your railroad Mallard, fair enough, or if you have a more detailed Mallard, more recent one, lovely. I mean, it's whatever anyone prefers, isn't it? But this is what I decided to get. Like I say, a tender drive is no deterrent to me whatsoever. Okay, so what I've done is I've given it a nice oiling. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put her back on the track and give her a run around the track and see what she's like. Okay, so now this might not be a full review. We'll wait and see how we go with it. I mean, I'll see how we feel as we go around with it. But let's put the tender together. You've got like a kind of a hole in the drawbar there. You can probably see it there. Yeah, get that to focus, please. Focus. No, it probably won't focus. There you go. You've got the hole in the drawbar there, and that's where the there's a pin coming out of the tender there. You can probably see it there. That brass pin that sticks in there, and it's all together. And you've got a lot of moulded detail on there, fair enough. I mean, there's not a lot of there's a fair amount of moulded detail, but to me, as long as it looks nice going around the track, I'm not going to be putting any of these models into a display case and sit there sort of, you know, and admiring while it's in a case. My belief is that when I buy these model trains, they're here to be run. Okay, so whether I've got a collector's item or whatever, or just the most mundane of models, or seemingly mundane, I will run them on the track. They are going to be coming out on my layout. Okay, so what I'm going to do, it's going to be a bit of a fun to rail this one, because it's got all these different articulated bits on it. Let's have a go, let's see how we get on. Right, so we appear to be on the track. So that's the benefit of a railing ramp, okay? And I mean, I do go on a bit about these railing ramps and stuff, but my opinion is, why make life hard for yourself? There's Mallard there, ready and waiting to go. So let's see what happens then. Okay, so running backwards, running forward, and away we go. Okay, so this is what Mallard would have looked like from 1956 onwards, when that's when the later crest came out, and that would have been the this would have been the livery. It would have kept right the way up to withdrawal, I believe. But as you see, it's running around the track very, very well. Okay, that rear articulated bogie on the locomotive. I mean, that to me is far more sensible. I mean, okay, some people might say it might not be exactly to scale. It might not look like, you know, accurate in looks and or whatever. But to me, it's far more sensible. I mean, I've got all the wheels are on the track. Also, what I would say is I did run this one once around the track before I oiled it, and now it's running much more quiet. It is running how I'd expect a Hornby wing curve motor to behave. Perfectly good. And again, some of you might not like wing curve motors, but I get the feeling sometimes in the hobby you get a bit of a bandwagon going. I mean, you know, I mean, if I never told you this was a tender driven locomotive, I mean, would you notice the difference with it going round? It was a nice quiet runner, beautiful. And I can imagine the crew on this locomotive. You know, you've got to sometimes imagine this going around you being a real locomotive, because that's what it is, a model of something that exists in reality. That the driver, you know, the driver and the fireman are on the world record holder for steam traction. I do believe that was 126 miles an hour, wasn't it? And I can imagine on the day, I think it was in 1938 he broke the record, something like that. It was the late 1930s. I'll be doing more research on the Mallard as time goes on, and you imagine they would have been on this locomotive and they're thinking broke the 100, then there's 110, 115, 120, faster and faster, until they reach the world speed record for a steam locomotive. They're still held today. No one's ever broken that record. Okay, so that's our Hornby Mallard going round now. So what I'm going to probably do in a moment, we're going to try and find some rolling stock for it. Now, I've not got any LNER coaches as such. I've got some BR coaches, and that might be the answer for this one today. We'll have a look and see what it looks like pulling a train. Okay, running beautifully. I believe on the back of the tender there, it's got the corridor, and the tender would have had a corridor going through it. I think it was the same on the Flying Scotsman, so that you could change loco crews without stopping. So there was like a kind of a tunnel going down through inside the tender, and the replacement crew would go down through there, and then they swap the crew over. Now to remember that there was very much a race between the Eastern Main Line, the LNER, and the Midland Railway. I think the Midland Railway were running with the Coronation Scots, so I think they got to 114 miles an hour. I think they held the record for a while, but then the A4 Pacifics smashed the record and held the record then on it. Another thing to be remembered is that when, you know, a lot of these locomotives that came out in the late 20s, 30s, everything was interrupted by World War II. The 1939 to 1945 war interrupted everything, and then after the war there would have been a period of austerity. Certainly rationing, I think, went on to, in some form or another, went on to 1953. And so really, it was the pre-war era for me would have been the glory days of the Big Four. I mean, obviously, after the war, the Big Four were all nationalised and all became part of the British Railways. And they were split up into different regions. Certainly in my area, it became the Western region of British Rail. And this, of course, is where we got the nationalised British Rail identity rather than the LNER identity. Beautiful. I mean, all I did, I mean, it ran well, but it was making a tiny little bit of a noise, and it's all it took was a nice little drop of oil on all the bearings. I did all the moving parts around the locomotive, and all inside that reflow motor, on the all the cog spindles and everything, and on the motor spindles, just a little drop, just enough to get it lubricated. And as you can see now, what a beautiful locomotive. So any of you who are thinking of looking out, there are some of these still on eBay. And if you don't mind, if you don't mind having a tender powered locomotive, in my opinion, you're going to get something really, really nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to just stop recording just for a little while now. Well, we'll watch it go around for a little bit longer. It's just fantastic, isn't it? So Nigel Gresley was the designer of this locomotive. And I think Gresley was probably held in just, you know, was just, you know, you had certain people that were held in very, very high regard as most as railway designers, locomotive designers. So you would have had Gresley on the LNER, certainly Dean, Churchward, Collett and Hawksworth were on the Great Western Railway. The last chief mechanical engineer of the Southern Railway was Oliver Bullitt. So all of these people were all famous in their own right as locomotive. Oh, and Sir William Stanier, of course, and all famous in their own right as designers. And in the pre-war era, there was definitely a competition between the different railways to provide fast and luxurious travel. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous Mallard going around the track here, and this is all coming from a Great Western fan. And this is giving you LNER people something to look at. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to stop the video just for a while. Okay, so we're back again now with some coaches attached. Now, if you want to know what coaches these are BR Mark 1 coaches. I thought really with the BR livery this might be the suitable coaches. If any of you LNER fans out there have got any suggestions about coaches, I was thinking of getting some teak coaches to be pulled by this particular locomotive. But the moment it's putting a rake of BR Mark 1 coaches. Now, these do, I mean, if you look at them closely, they're bearing Midland numbers on them. But, you know, we have to mix and match, don't we, on our railways. If, you know, we can't all afford to go out and buy a whole range of rolling stock for every locomotive, unfortunately. Some of us can't do that. I will get it, I will get them eventually. I've got my eye on some on eBay again. I mean, that's the place where I would look for stuff. But you can see though, I thought I'd let you see this locomotive going around with rolling stock. These are, what I would say about these coaches are, I mean, this is our 4352 BR Mark 1 brake class, okay. You can see his M number, Midland region, can't do much about that. Okay, and you've got a two of these coaches here, which is the R4351 BR Mark 1 second class coach, and his M24439. But they're really nice coaches. I mean, they run, considering the railroad range, they're really free running. In my experience, at least, very, very free running. And the only other thing to bear in mind is that if you've got a layout the same size as mine, which is 6 feet by 4, okay, you do need a couple extra inches on you. If you've got an arrangement like mine with sidings like this, really they're a little bit too long for these sidings. The rear end of the coach will overlap the point there, and that can really only be cured obviously by me either maybe trying to widen the layout or do something. I can't do much about the length, and if I made this layout any longer I'd be sitting out in the other room basically. There's a wall right behind me, so but there we are, running around beautifully. Okay, now if you like what you see, press the like button and subscribe and ring that bell, and for all content you'll be made aware of more of my videos. If I get the teak coaches to go with this particular locomotive, then I will show you this locomotive running around with the teak coaches. I think what we're going to do is we're going to remove the camera and we're going to go for a slightly different viewing angle, and then we'll do might do another full review on this at another date. But let's come right down here now. So we're on the curve here now, wait for it to come around again. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. Let's this all handheld now. The camera will be sort of trying to focus and refocus as I'm going around now. I thought I'd follow her around a little bit as the handheld thing. Okay, so anyway, thank you very, very much for watching, and I should wish you farewell for now, and bye bye. What we'll do another kind of review of her maybe on the Lazy Susan maybe another time. Okay, so thank you very, very, very much for watching. I bid you farewell, and bye for now.